Hey guys, we're going to look at polynomials and a couple of their characteristics. So the first kind of polynomial we're going to talk about is a monomial. And a monomial is really basic. It's just one term. Could be a constant, could be a variable, or it could be a product of a number and a variable. And then a polynomial is going to be the sum of multiple monomials. So here's some examples. On the left, we have some monomials. Like I said, we could have a constant or a variable, or we could have any sort of product of the two. So 7x squared y is a monomial. This long term is a monomial. And then polynomial is when we add and subtract those monomials. So here's two different polynomials. We're going to look at the degree of each monomial and a polynomial. So the degree of a monomial, we're going to take all of the variable exponents and add them together to get our degree of the monomial. And then the degree of a polynomial, we're going to find the degree of all the monomials and then take the largest degree and apply that to be the degree of the entire polynomial. So here's some examples of a monomial. So we have a squared b to the fifth, and that degree would be found by taking 2 plus 5. So it has degree 7. Here we have a monomial, 7 squared xy. The definition says the sum of the exponents of the variable factors. So this 2 doesn't matter. We just take the x to the first, y to the first, and add those together. So we have a degree of 2. Here's a polynomial that we want to find the degree of. So we're going to find the degree of each term. Well, that doesn't have any variable parts, so that's a degree of 0. This term has degree 3, and this has degree 7. So you take the largest degree. Our largest degree was 7, so this polynomial has degree 7. And I'd like you guys to find the degree of this polynomial. Okay. Another thing that comes along with polynomials is standard form. So we're going to write standard polynomials in standard form, which means that our highest degree will go on the left and will work to the right. So here's a long polynomial. The first thing we need to do is combine any like terms. So it looks like we have some x's and then a couple x to the fourths that we need to combine. So when we do that, it looks like this. And now we need to write it in standard form, meaning the highest exponent or highest degree needs to go first. So it looks like we have an x to the fifth. And remember this, the coefficient and the sign in front goes with it. So this would be in standard form. Our exponents go in decreasing order. Okay, we're also going to talk about what a leading coefficient is. So coefficient is a number. Leading obviously means in front. So we're going to look for the highest degree or the term with the highest degree, and then that coefficient will be what we call our leading coefficient. So here's an example. Again, we need to combine any like terms that we could and write it in standard form. So there's no like term, so we just have to rewrite it. Our 12x to the 8th goes in front, and then 3x to the 6th minus 8x squared plus 7x minus 2. Leading coefficient then, highest term or highest degree, the number in front. So our leading coefficient would be 12. And sometimes you'll be asked to tell us a constant as well, and constant just means number. So our constant in this case is -2. Okay, sometimes you will also be asked to classify your polynomial based off of how many terms they have. So if there's only one term, we described that earlier as a monomial, and then everything after that is polynomials, but we can specifically say if it has 2 terms, it's a binomial, and then if it has 3 terms, it's a trinomial. So those 3 words you'll see quite often. But then we can also classify based off of the degree. So if it has degree 1, if our monomial has degree 1, then it is, or polynomial, excuse me, it is what we call a linear polynomial. If it has degree 2, it's a quadratic. Degree 3 is cubic. Degree 4 is quartic. And degree 5 is quintic. So those 5 degrees are ones that have special names. So we'll look at one final example. We're going to be asked to subtract or combine these two polynomials. So when we subtract, remember we need to distribute that minus sign to the second set of parentheses, so we get this. And then combine any like terms, so we can combine our x cubes to get this polynomial. And then we're going to classify some things. So first of all, our leading coefficient would be 3. Our constant is -4. And then if I were to classify it by the number of terms, there's 3 terms, so it's a trinomial. And then classify it by its degree, it has degree 3, so it's a cubic polynomial.